In today's episode, what we're going to talk about is how to get out of a rut. That's right, how to get out a rut, but more importantly, how to get out of a rut quickly and effectively. Let's talk about it. Again, what we're talking about today is how to get out of a rut quickly and effectively. Listen, we've all been there before. We've all been in that situation where we just found ourselves in a rut. Like one day you wake up, things might have been going well for a certain period of time. And then one day you just wake up and you're there in rut land. Okay. And it sucks to be in a rut. Okay. But the thing is that you have to figure out how to get out of that rut. And I've told you before, so I've been in the sales profession for well over a decade now. And one thing about being in the sales profession, being in a profession where you are literally judged and your compensation is directly tied to your effectiveness in the marketplace. Okay. The reality about that dynamic is that you can't afford to stay in a rut very long. So if you wake up and you find yourself in a rut when you are in this type of a profession, you literally cannot afford to stay in that rut. Okay. So I wanted to create an episode to share with you some of the things that I've learned throughout the years that have helped me to get out of a rut both quickly and effectively. All right. So what I'm going to share with you today are 5 simple strategies that will help you to get out of a rut quickly and effectively. Strategy number 1, you have to set a clear, concise, and compelling vision. That's right. You have to have a clear, concise, and compelling vision. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing about a rut. Okay. And why having a clear, concise, and compelling vision is so important. When you are in a rut, 9 times out of 10, you are finding yourself in a negative frame of mind. Okay. And we are visual creatures. And so if you don't have a long-term vision that is clear, concise, and compelling, which is clear, meaning that it's clear to you exactly where it is you're going. It is concise, meaning that it's not a mile long of things that you're looking to accomplish. You're trying to get a few simple things accomplished, right? And then it is compelling, meaning that it is something that you can get emotionally involved in a positive manner. If you do not have a long-term vision and you find yourself in a rut, then what's going to end up happening is that you're going to use your power of vision the wrong way. Okay. So what's going to happen is, because when you're in a rut, you're in a negative state of mind. If you don't have a long-term vision, then you're only going to be able to use your vision for what you see in front of you. So what you'll often find that can happen is that you could find yourself in a situation where you're in a rut, but now you're using your powerful vision and your imagination to amplify the negative situation that you're in right now. Okay. So that's why you have the very first thing that you have to do when you find yourself in a rut is you have to refocus, right? You need to refocus, because once you understand that your future is going to be better than what it is today, than your present, that will instantly start to elevate your mind into more of a positive space. Okay. That's the very first step you have to do. It's essential if you want to get out of a rut both quickly and effectively. Strategy number 2, you need to identify the mistakes that you've been making. All right. So when I think back to the times when I found myself in a rut, pretty much every single time that I found myself in a rut, it was because I started making mistakes that I should not have made. Okay. Maybe I found myself in a situation where I decided to take some time off when I should have been prospecting. I ended up taking some time off. Well, if I make that mistake over a long enough period of time, my pipeline will consistently start to decrease. And then boom, before you know it, you'll find yourself in rut land. All right. So what you have to do if you're in a rut right here, right now, today, is you need to identify what are the mistakes that you've been making. All right. Identify them. Be honest with yourself. Right? Because if you can't be honest with yourself about the mistakes that you've been making, guess what? You're going to be trapped in rut land. Strategy number 3, you need to quickly get the right information. So sometimes, here's the reality about life. Life is in a constant and perpetual state of change. So by understanding that, you have to understand that sometimes the information that worked for you last year, last month, or even last week in some instances can become antiquated. And if you have the wrong information, you will consistently get the wrong results. Understand this, right? If you boil down life to its simplest common denominator, we live in a world of cause and effect. Okay? This isn't anything profound that I'm coming up. I didn't come up with this. This has been around for many years. Okay? Many millennia. All right? We live in a world of cause and effect. So what that means is that if you don't have the right causes, then you're guaranteed to not have the right effects. If you have the wrong causes, you will have the wrong effects. It's that simple. All right. But you can't have the right causes if you don't have the right information. Right. So one of the things I always look at is I try to get more information anytime that especially when I'm in a rut. I go on a hunt for the right information because maybe something has changed in the marketplace. Maybe what worked for me last year, last month, last week, or even yesterday is not going to work for me today. Okay? Now that's not always the case, but one thing's for sure, if you're in a rut, you got to assess everything about your situation. And information is the most critical, is one of the most critical pieces of the puzzle, right? I always want high quality information because high quality information is one of the biggest factors of being able to quickly and effectively get yourself out of a rut. Strategy number 4. And this is what I typically do. For a 30-day period of time, if I'm in the middle of a rut, I will try to eliminate any and all distractions over the next 30 days. Okay. If I wake up, because again, remember, you know, I'm talking from the perspective of I'm a sales professional, right? And so I only get paid for what I accomplish in the marketplace. I don't get paid to just show up. All right. And so if I find myself in a rut, I know in my mind, and I've done this multiple times, I know in my mind that I have to be focused. I have to be all hands on deck in my mind. I can't allow myself to be lazy. I can't allow myself to rest on my laurels, right? I can't allow myself to go home and just kick it. You know what I mean? I can't be lazy, right? So if I want to get out of a rut quickly and effectively, I gotta eliminate the distractions. Okay? Because listen, if you're on top of the world and then you find time to kind of chill out and relax and have fun, then live your life, do your thing. But I'm talking about when you wake up one day and you realize, oh my goodness, everything's crumbling around me. I'm in rut land. All right? You gotta eliminate those distractions instantly. Okay. And so what I try to do is I eliminate the distractions for 30 days. I get focused and I try to do any and everything that I can to be successful, which brings us into the last strategy for the next 30 days. All right. Once you've identified what your distractions are, once you stop playing video games, once you stop going out kicking it with friends and all that stuff for that 30-day time frame, please, here's the most important thing. You have to explode. That's the key word. You have to explode your output consistently over the next 30 days. Okay. Remember, we're in a world of cause and effect. Okay. We're also we also live in a world of seed time and harvest. You know, we're talking about godly principles here. Okay. Listen, you don't take a seed, plant it in the ground, and then tomorrow go out and you have a full blown plant. Okay. It doesn't work that way. All right. So if you're in a rut, what you need to understand is the reason you got to the rut, the reason you enter into rut land is because of actions that you took leading up to your entrance into rut land. Okay. And it took time for you to get to rut land. Nobody gets into a rut overnight. It doesn't work that way. Okay. People get into a rut because over time, their actions end up compounding, and then they wake up and one day they're in a rut. So what I want you to do is I want you to go. Don't even worry about you're in a rut right now. Don't expect things to turn around overnight. I want you to get laser focused. And more importantly, I want you to take extraordinary amount of action over the next 30 days. I want you to get focused and I want your output, your actual effort. I want you to take unreasonable action over the next 30 days to get out of the rut. Okay. Because quite honestly, the only thing that's going to really change your situation is your action anyway. Okay. Now there's a lot that drives your action, right? And those in the prior 4 strategies that I shared with you definitely are drivers of getting you out of the rut. But please understand this. Action is what got you into the rut, and action is what's going to get you out of the rut. So if you want to get out of the rut quickly and effectively, you literally have to explode your output over the next 30 days and watch what will happen. Hopefully you got great value from today's episode. This episode was brought to you by The Ugly Truth About Getting Hired: How to Land the Job of Your Dreams regardless of the competition. In this book, you're going to discover how to dramatically improve your odds of landing a top dollar job offer with ease. If that sounds like something you're interested in learning more about, you can pick up a copy of this book today by heading over to www.theuglytruthbook.com. That's www.theuglytruthbook.com. Again, that's www.theuglytruthbook.com. Again, thanks for checking out today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And always remember, the only things that pay in life are the things you get done. And that's based on a true story.